When I started to prepare my trip down to Sun and Fun, I quickly realized that it was going to be a trip very different from my backcountry adventures. And let me tell you what I mean by that. My name is Wolf, and I'm a retired physicist and a glide and tailwheel pilot. On my first circuit with my Cessna 170 across the eastern US 4 years ago, I could pick the places to refuel and land rather spontaneously. And I would always land on small airports and grass strips, and this meant that I had the pattern basically for myself. And this was middle of August, prime tourist season. Now, in my backcountry adventure last fall, my objective was to visit some of those famous places out west in Montana, Idaho, and Utah. And these places attract a lot of pilots. But I got there after Labor Day, so most of the masses had already finished their flying vacation. That didn't mean that I was entirely alone, no. There was always 1 or 2 planes visiting and staying for an hour or two, and some of them even stayed overnight. But it was very relaxed. There was no pressure on arrival or departure time, no pressure to tie down in a specific spot. It was great. But Sun and Fun, I think, is going to be the exact opposite. I will want to be there at a given hour, and when I get there, I will very likely be one of many planes approaching at the same time. Now, with an active scan and with the help of ADS-B in, I should be able to see most of them. And neither will I have the pattern to myself. As a matter of fact, I will have to follow a pretty well specified arrival procedure way before I get to pattern or downwind. And instead of a lone deer, many experts will watch my landing or my go-around should a gusty crosswind scare me on short final or flare. So when I imagine all that, I feel a nervous twitch in my stomach. Of course, that fades away once I watch the FAA video on the VFR arrival procedures for Lakeland again. After all, it's really not that big a deal. It's pretty straightforward, actually. And then there's Sun and Fun, the beehive of Sun and Fun. Lots of people and the dynamics of a big fly-in. I love that too. I will get to see many interesting airplanes. I'll get to speed with the latest gizmos. I'll meet many pilots, make new friends. And above all, I'll be able to show my whiskey blue to everybody who is interested in knowing more about it. It's for sale after all. But instead of pitching the tent under fir trees or down in canyons, I will be staying in vintage camping. So if you're there, stop by and say hello. See you down at Sun and Fun.